Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us today for this live stream event. My name is Alexia, and I am the event and project manager at the Microsoft Reactor Toronto. Before we begin, I'd like to quickly review two items with you, our code of conduct and event guidelines. First, please take a moment to review our code of conduct. Microsoft Reactor seeks to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. We encourage engagement in the chat, but please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. Secondly, our event guidelines. This session is being recorded. It will be available on demand through our Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel in about 48 to 72 hours. I will be sharing the link for our YouTube channel shortly in the chat. And if you've not been on a live stream through YouTube before, please note that you must create an account on YouTube in order to access and interact in the chat. You can set that up now. And if you're unable to use the chat but have questions, please feel free to reach out to us through social media or on Meetup. Which brings us to today's session. I'm going to bring in our speaker. Hi, Bruno. How are you?
Hey, Alexia. I'm fine. How are you?
Great. Thank you again for joining us for this not very last, but fifth episode of the series. I think we're coming back again next week.
We are coming back, yes, next week, I think, because we have a lot of people asking to do some session around super popular language like JavaScript and TypeScript. So I think we are coming back next week, and then we came back a couple of weeks later. So yes, we have more sessions, and today is not about language, it's about devices. And I am going to show you how I use CoPilot in a different way. So hey, let's see how it works.
Awesome. Well, super exciting. Yeah, take it away.
Perfect. So let me share my screen. There it is. Perfect. Thank you very much. So hello, everyone. Bruno Capuano here. I'm the cloud advocate for the Toronto Reactor. And 45 years old, white, Latin person. I'm wearing my black t-shirt today with the CoPilot logo. And today I am going to talk about CoPilot, but not focused in a specific language, but basically as a tool to learn new stuff. Before going there, my excuse here is to basically show how, like this demo, when we ask CoPilot to help me create 10 lines of code to send a tweet, and we automatically generate this code, that this is part of the standard demo from CoPilot. I asked CoPilot today to help me do, this is the old slide, but to help me work and control my Roomba. Sorry about that. To help me control my Roomba Vacuum. So I have my vacuum here. I'm going to show you. And the idea is that I am going, sorry about the demos, it's not going to work. It's mostly about how I use CoPilot. But in case you are wondering how I'm going to do this and what is CoPilot, CoPilot is an extension right now running in Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio 2022, and a couple of others places. I see some people saying hi Ravi in the comments. So, and the idea of CoPilot is a model, is a machine learning model that will analyze the code that you are typing in real time in one of these code editors, and it's going to give you suggestions. And the model was trained with terabytes, with plenty of information on public code and repositories like GitHub. And with that, we are going to have these suggestions. And we are going to have one suggestion online. We are always going to see a suggestion in our code editor. And we also have the chance to see up to 10 alternative suggestions. There are plenty of materials. There are plenty of already videos, documents, and more that explain CoPilot, how it was created, what is the relation between OpenAI and Microsoft. So what I am going to do, I am going to suggest, if you want to learn more, to check the links that we just shared, or to check the other documentation. I am going to go directly to my demo. And by the way, episode 5, as I mentioned, today, my idea is to use CoPilot to control a Roomba. In case you don't know what is a Roomba, this is the Roomba, this is the vacuum. It's an amazing robot. I use the Roomba. We have 3 at home, and you're going to see how we have 3. So we have 3 Roombas at home, 2 for vacuum, 1 for mopping. And hey, it's crazy. And I always have inside of me, I used to do robotics, I used to control the Roomba. with connecting a serial port and sending information via the serial communication. But I know that we can do something else, so I am going to try to use CoPilot to figure out if I can do this with my Rumba. Going back to CoPilot, if someone wants to test CoPilot, if someone wants to use CoPilot, you can go to copilot.github.com, and here you can enter into the technical preview. When you enter here, if you sign up here, it's going to ask for your information. You're going to join the waiting list, and after a couple of days, weeks, months, it's go by waves. You'll probably get accepted, and you're going to be able to use CoPilot. And how you can use CoPilot? So, in example, one way, as I mentioned, is to use in the code editor. I have here Visual Studio Code, and it's, let me open a new window in Visual Studio Code, and it's basically an extension. If in code I go to the extensions, I will see here in the extension, I can search for CoPilot. There it is, CoPilot. And you can start the session, and once the extension is installed, you're going to sign into your with your account, with your GitHub account, and you can start to use it. So super simple to start. Just sign up for the technical preview program. Once you are accepted, install the extension, and you can start to use it. And let's see how we can use CoPilot. So in order to do this, what I am going to do, I am going to create a new folder to store documents. So let me see where I am. I am in CRC Reactor, so let's make a directory name Roomba Labs. I am there. Let me close this one. So cd Roomba Labs. This is the location, and let's start Visual Studio Code. So created a new empty folder. Don't have anything here. Somehow I didn't open the folder. It should be open there. Let me go back there and open the folder I just created. CRC, Reactor, Roomba Labs, there it is. So we have an empty folder, and I am going to use Python to do this. So I'm going to create a new file. Let's go for numbers. So let's go 01.py. I have my file here. Let me open a little Zoom. CoPilot is running right now. I know it's running. I have CoPilot already installed, and the configuration is there. I can see here in the bottom that I have this logo. This is CoPilot running, and I can start to use CoPilot as usual. I can ask CoPilot, in example, add 2 numbers, and it's going to suggest me after a couple of seconds and return the Zoom. And it's going to suggest something like, on CoPilot, do your magic. So it's not doing anything. What I am going to do here, I'm going to ask for the 10 solutions. Sometimes it takes some time to start, and after, it seems that it's not the day for CoPilot today. It's taking a lot of time, but after a moment, it's going to start to make some suggestions. Let me synthesize this, close it, and do it again. So here, if I ask for solutions, okay, I have one which is kind of empty, and let's wait for the others. Depending on the day, this is a technical preview. It will take more or less time. But this is kind of the idea. It should work. Let me show CoPilot in another way. Add 2 numbers, and when I write this, CoPilot will suggest this code, which is basically, in this case, is suggest me to add 2 lists of nodes, and it's going to return also a list of nodes. I want to sum X and Y, and this is the suggestion from CoPilot, return X plus Y. So that's it, very simple. But I don't want to do this. What I want to do is control my Roomba. So let's ask CoPilot something like connect to Roomba. Connect to Roomba and send commands. What you see here in gray, let me make the zoom a little bigger. What you see here in gray is CoPilot suggestion. So let's do this, and let's go to see the possible solution. So here it says, so a couple of interesting options here. I have one option using a library called Raspberry Serial. It makes sense. As I told you, in the previous Roomba versions, you can connect to the device with a cable using your serial ports, USB to serial. So you can connect this. Then we have in a string some specific, and it seems that they are working here in a Mac or a Linux environment where it's the Roomba is recognized like /dev/ and the name, and this is the port. So hey, this is one option. I don't want to do this. Let's see if I have, okay, this one is connecting using sockets. So this probably makes more sense for me. I will probably go here and start to see if it will help me to get there. Also, I have here Roomba Sim. Okay, so this probably also, I like this one also. It's going to learn about, my time to learn about the library. I don't know this library, but this is also part of the process. I am using CoPilot right now. Instead of searching online how I can connect to a Roomba, I am going to start to analyze the suggestions. And hey, here I have one which is plain socket time, system, select, and threading. Let's import this one. I will accept this solution. Okay, so I am using Roomba Sim. I don't know Roomba Sim, but let's take a look at the first line of code. It says create kind of an object Roomba using Roomba Sim. Of course, I probably need to install this. So let's go to Python and do some pip install Roomba Sim. If it exists, no, it's not Roomba Sim. Pip. No, so let's go for our plan B, which is go here and go Python Roomba Sim. Okay, so in this case, this is a 3-year-old scenario, a 3-year-old library. I have something here, but important stuff. Instead of searching directly in Google or Bing, I came here and started to take a look at these samples. And it seems that we have an environment to do simulations with Roomba, and hey, I like it. It's kind of nice to use, kind of nice to have here. You see how we have an agent, we have an AI controller. So this is kind of one scenario where I can, without having a Roomba, I can use a simulation to see what I have here. Let's take a look at the code. It's one of these. So let's go to CLI. Let me change the. I want to change the. I will change the skin later. I don't want to have the dark one, but it seems that it's using some RPairs, NumPy, using a lot of libraries to make a simulation of controller Roomba. So that's fine. Not what we are looking. So not Roomba Sim. But hey, I have here system, time, socket, struct, and threading. Let's see what CoPilot suggests me to connect to the Roomba here. So hey, this makes kind of more sense. I have my Roomba. By the way, the Roomba is already connected to my Wi-Fi network, so I can find the Roomba here. But I will see something like this. Okay, Roomba connect. Socket.socket. I don't like it. Using EP. Let's connect to a Roomba using an address. So I know my address. 192.140. So I have this port and connect to Roomba using address and port and start to do the same. I like it. It starts to make more sense. So here I start to see a couple of interesting things. If I start to feed information, the stuff that I know, CoPilot is going to give me feedback about stuff that I can do. So in example, let's change this by address. And I have other information here, which is going to be important in the future. Once you have your Roomba, and I know this playing with my Roomba, I have kind of my user ID and the password to connect this. And this is not the password for my iRobot account. This is the password. This is the password that I have here for the local device. Kind of the device is have this. I see a question around Charlotte is asking that, hey, great. First, right, yes, this is amazing. This is super cool. This is how I am learning today. Instead of going to search, I do this. And Charlotte asked if, besides Visual Studio Code, this is available in regular Visual Studio. Yes. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I can't remember, a preview, not the final. CoPilot is in preview, but even doing in preview, let me create a new project. We have an extension that I am going to share with you the link right now. Let's create a console application C# here in machineLearning.net. Yes, that's fine. Net 6. So once I am here, I have one extension. Let's create the project that is going to use CoPilot in Visual Studio 2022. Again, it's kind of a beta. CoPilot is in beta, but the extension is in beta here. I don't want to update Visual Studio right now, but here I can ask something like, I don't know, add two numbers together, and CoPilot is what you see here in gray. It's CoPilot suggestions, which is basically x1, y2, theta3, console right line. And I can add something like add two numbers together and return the result if it's bigger than 10, so than 100. So what I am going to do here, x10, and as you can see here, my crappy code is basically adding two numbers, and then if the result is bigger than 100, it's going to do some console write line about this. But this extension is CoPilot working in Visual Studio 2022. So I am going to, I don't have the link right now here. So here it is, Pilot. Oh, I will search for the link and share it with you. But hey, here it is. Super cool, working in Visual Studio 2022. But going back to my Roomba. So I have info from my Roomba. I know this info. I have the address, which is an IP. I have kind of a user ID, which is called VLID, and then the password. So I am going to say connect to Roomba using address, lead, and password. As you can see here, CoPilot understands what I have in the top and is trying to help me here. So password, what it's going to do is going to create the connect function, and then it's going to start the connection. How do I get here? I am using a library which is called Roomba Py. Why? That usually CoPilot suggests me to use this. This is the most popular Python library to connect and use your Roomba. And I'm sorry, Charlotte, I see your comment right now. Yes, it was released a couple of weeks ago, the extension for Visual Studio 2022. And I get here because one of my colleagues in Microsoft, he was asking, what do you want to have in Visual Studio 2022? I say CoPilot, and he said, we just got it. It's already there, but literally a couple of hours there. So there it is. If you search it, you can find it, and it's super cool. If you are part of the program, you can use it here. Going back here, I have Roomba Py here. So I can start to do stuff like this. So take a look here. Because I have the import, now CoPilot understands that I can use Roomba Py and create a new element using my address, my bleed, and my password. And this is super cool. Charlotte, alpha for C#? Yes, it's alpha for Visual Studio. If I don't have, let's create a new solution here in F#. So any language supported by console application in F#, console application, next 6, any language supported in Visual Studio, as far as I understand, if I go here and again, I do the comment. Add two numbers together and return the result if it's bigger than 100. And if it's smaller, return the result plus 10. This should start to do some suggestions. I can't remember how to do this. So let's x1, x2. And it's in the suggestion here. And I can't remember there was a key. Again, I don't want interactive. I can't remember the keystroke to get the suggestions to show like this one, the 10 possible solutions. There is one combination of kits here, but this is the moment that you start to have this. Again, it's supported in Visual Studio, so it's supported in C#, F#, any language that you have here. I'm guessing that there it is, CoPilot up and running. And I'm guessing that, yes, it's enabled globally for F# and in the solution, Control-Alt. Oh my God, this is a super weird combination. Go here and get to this one. Working. So don't have any more solutions. You have it here. I need to learn this in Visual Studio 2022. This is still my cup of tea in these days. But going back here, how do I connect to the Roomba? So I use this library, Roomba Pi. Let's take a look here. If I search for Roomba Pi, I am going to get to the main library, which makes a lot of sense. There it is. Yes, it's a public library. It's also a package, so I can go here and CLS and do some pip install Roomba Pi. I think I already have it installed. Yes, there it is. It's already satisfied, so I have it installed. And with this install, I can start to do some stuff. Like in example, if I take a look at the repository, I can start to say, okay, let's see if I get information about my Roomba. So Roomba Discovery and my IP. Here, maximize this. Let me clean it so we have better view. Roomba Discovery 192.168.140. So this is my device. This is what we see here is my device. This is the host name of the device. This is the version that I am using right now. This is my IP. Okay, so this makes sense. This is the one that I'm asking. This is the MAC from my device, the name of the robot, the SQ capabilities, if the bin is full or not, if it's dock. Right now it's dock in the charging area. So if I show you here this, and it takes some time here to navigate, but let me show you the this is basically my camera. So what you're going to see here is the camera that I have in my phone in a couple of seconds. So that's my camera. You can see myself there, and that's the Roomba there. If I move the Roomba out of the docking station, there it is, out of the docking station, I can, let me close this. I can query again, and again, it takes a couple of seconds, but after this time, I think that the dock is going to say that it's not already there. And I have a couple more other stuff, like I have maps, how many maps I have in my Roomba. I can't remember what is the maps. So I have a lot of stuff here defined that I can use. And I can even go here and say, you know what, Roomba, using Roomba, do the full discovery. And this is going to search in my network all of the Roomba devices that recognize. And as you can see here, there are at least two. As I mentioned here, I have my first one, which is here, which is this IP 140, and this is my robot named Rumba. And I have this other one, which is 192.168.188, and this is the Roomba J7. This is the newer version. At any moment, this information will start to change, but hey, I already have not this one, sorry. I already have the library that I know installed, so I can start to connect to my Roomba Connect. So let's do a connect. You can see here that is, sorry, I did it very fast. Suggestion. So I am not typing any code. I am using a suggestion from Roomba Connect. I'm going to use the connection, the suggestion. And at this moment, what I can do is I can, in example, get Roomba state or information. That is going to say something like this. And Roomba gets info and get Roomba state, Roomba gets state. I can't remember if this is the right one. I need to double check. But with this stuff, I can go here right now, copy these paths, go back to Reactor, clear this, go to the path of this one and do some Python 01 PI, and this is what I found today. And I have a problem here where with the latest version, I don't have OpenSSL installed in my machine, but I will take a look at the comment right now, Charlotte. I don't have the necessary libraries, the latest version here. Something happened with my demo from the last time I used it until today, and it's not working fully here. But the important part for me to share with you today is that I get to this state basically using CoPilot, basically using information about my asking CoPilot to do something, and it learns. So in example, I can get here, do new file, zerodose.pi, and I used to do a lot of sessions using this drone. This is a very small toy drone, the DJI drone. And hey, if I ask CoPilot something like connect to DJI drone, using DJI drone, take a look there. It is going to suggest me to create this library, DJI drone, which I don't know if it exists, but I know that we have one. Sorry. I know that we have one which is called DJI Telo PI, import Telo. So let me go here and do pip install DJI Telo PI. Yes, it's going to install it there. Let me change here the runtime to use the reactor. So now that I have this, it's going to create a drone. It's going to connect to the drone, which is going to cool. It's going to do the stream on. No, what I want to do right now is take off. So it's going to drone take off and move a little, move to left. Move left, and let's do the land. Move to right, and basically let's do land. From land. So what I am going to do right now, again, this is just kind of searching. It gives me the chance to understand how to connect to this drone. This is a toy drone, so this is super easy to use also. And hey, with 10 lines of code, I can test it. If you want someone say, yes, I will give it a try to the drone and test it. And in the meantime, Charlotte, you ask if a certain MAC address is moved and new DHCP is assigning new IP. Yes, one of the functions that I realized that we have in this library, in Roomba PI, is that you have this discovery function here, not this one, sorry, Roomba PI. You have this discovery that is going to show you the info in real time. So, and you can do this with code. You can ask Roomba PI discovery, and it will give you the information. So you don't need to search for your device. Again, if you change your IP from time to time. I'm using IP right now in my home network. I don't change the IPs. It's once they are connected, there it is. But hey, this is kind of the idea. So with that said, super simple, super easy. I don't have the drone right now connected to my machine. So if I do Python 2, it's going to say that the drone is not connected. So let me go here and connect the drone. I need to connect to Wi-Fi. So what I am going to do, I am going to go here, split this new one. Let me turn this on. I need to connect via Wi-Fi, and one is turned on. Yes, it's turned on. There it is. I'm going to do connect, name, Telo, and it should be on here somewhere. Oh, sorry. It should be on here in one of the libraries, Wi-Fi. See, 2. Somewhere here should be the drone. But hey, you get the idea. We are on time. I want to be sensitive with the time. I'm just going to show you how using CoPilot, I am learning to connect to my Roomba, to connect to my drone, and more. So thank you very much. I promise I will finish this. I will write this for the next one. I will ask you if you have 20 seconds, please fill the survey. We want to see how we can do better events. We want to see how we can show you events and show you the topics that you want to see. And see you next one. Next one is going to be, I think it's TypeScript in the next time that you have the info. Thanks, everyone. See you next one. Goodbye.